of them. You're wasting all your time and money on models. Paint what you have.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Model Club TV, episode 120. As always, my lovely co-host, Scott Johansson. I'm Jason Walker. Is he extra lovely today? Sad face? A happy face? How's it going? How's summer?
I smile for you.
We're right here at the end of all things. I'm glad to be here with you. My summer is over officially as of next week. Back to normal life, which I'm not looking forward to. Anyway, how's life, Scott?
Better than yours, I guess. Jeez Christ.
I don't want to go. I've been having fun doing live streams the last few days. It's been fun. So those of you who've been joining me, thank you. That's been awesome. I'm going to do more of those, and I'm probably going to try and get a specific schedule down, but a lot of times because of work that
a few people have asked me why I'm not doing live streams.
Yeah, they've been asking. I said
because I have no control.
That's not true. That's 100%
I can't control Model
not
Club
true.
TV. I can't live stream.
That's not what. That is 100% not true. And I even said it on live stream. I will give you the information. I will set it up. You set up a camera, and I will let you live stream you painting anytime you want.
Wow.
I will set it up, and I'll make sure you know how to do it. You set up a camera in a painting area. I will gladly let you live stream.
Sounds like a dare.
It is a dare. It's one of those things that will never happen. Column. So, how are you otherwise, though? We're good? You good?
Thirsty. Hold on. I'm thirsty.
Oh. Well, while Scott's drinking, we have the barbecue coming August 31st.
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock. Scott has decided the time. 2 o'clock.
That's Central Standard Time.
Central Standard Time. So if you need help getting here, reach out to either Scott or I. We can get you the directions. We can get you where you can stay in a hotel. Just an area. We're not putting you up. So please, August 31st, you don't need to bring anything. Don't feel like you have to bring anything. If you want to bring some special...
No, if you want specialty beer or something, you do have to bring that.
So, but the one thing we do need from everyone is just a quick head count. So if you are coming, please email me at modelclubtv@gmail.com. And that will help us out quite a bit. We'd like to know, just kind of know for food purposes, how much we need to buy. So please buy. I would say this is coming out on the 15th. If you could let us know by Monday, what is that?
25th?
No, we need to know before that.
Do we?
I don't know. All right. Let us know by the 25th. Whatever. Just please let us know you're coming. Well, I'm sure we'll have enough, but it'll help quite a bit if we know you're coming. So awesome. Brian had to cancel because he made better plans. And
no, because he's a weenie.
Oh,
that's why. Okay.
And
he's not a big one. He's a big something, but no.
So awesome. It'll be great to see some old faces. Hopefully some new people. I think there are a couple new people coming this time. So it'll be exciting. August 31st, the cookout, MCTVBBQ III. So
that's Sunday. The following day is Labor Day. So
yes.
It's a no work day. I'll make sure anyone gets to a hotel if they're staying here and they get overserved.
Yes, we will get
with the exception of you. You can crawl home
and get shot. Get stabbed, run over. Yeah, very cool. Try to think what else. I think that's it. Our guest this episode is Daniele Danko Angelozzi, and it was a great interview. I'm really excited for you guys to watch this one. Some really cool stuff to look at and some really cool insights too. Thank you, Daniele, for joining us. It was our pleasure. Absolutely. And follow all of his links are down below. So please check them out. Go see all that stuff before we get to the interview part. And then you can kind of follow along. Great. I want to give Scott some props. This was a Scott get 100%. Scott did some work for the episode and I am appreciative of it. So thank you for reaching out to him for us. Because everyone knows I'm terrible at that. I'm actually talking to people.
I thought you were going to give me props for the great interview, but okay.
Oh, and well, we'll see. Well, we could do that after. I could give you those props after. which we will.
Don't bother. You
All right, I won't.
disgust me.
All right. We're going to keep our part of the episode kind of short. The last 2 episodes have been really long. We're going to keep this one a little like concise this episode. So we're in the middle of summer. There's not a lot coming out, not a lot to talk about. There's been a few things here and there. I think we'll probably do that more towards the episode at the end of the month, grab some more of that stuff. But I want to jump right into that interview as soon as possible. But we have some stuff. So, news and reviews, Scott. Okay, first up. I love that. I love that final mystery dupe. It always when it's going to come. All right. Scale model kit review. Steven Sutton has put up 2 parts of his Wonderfest walkthrough, which is everyone was asking me to do, and Steven did a much better job of anything that I could have probably done. So please,
except pick out shirts. Okay.
Hey, that's a cool shirt.
I'm just giving him crap.
So please head on over. I'll put the link down below. He's got 1 million more subscribers than us, far more popular than we are. So please, but if you haven't followed his channel, SMKR Scale Model Kit Review, go on over there and subscribe. He doesn't need you. Of course he does, but we need
Scale
his
Model Kit Review Studio.
We need his
YouTube thing.
People to come down here and check out once in a while. But please, great video, a Wonderfest walkthrough, 2 parts. So check it out. Very cool stuff. And then after that, from the Worthlings, do you have any prices or information, Scott?
I sure wish I did. And I probably do.
So
Vincent Price from Madhouse. And
very famous Monsters cover.
Yes, it's not a movie I'm familiar with. Okay. And I think the piece also comes with a mask.
Yeah, it does. It does.
And sculpted by Michael Berglund. And my apologies to Michael. We didn't get this in on the last episode because the knucklehead you're in partnership with didn't send it to us till the day after we recorded. But
we're getting it here.
This is really, and again, I've never seen the movie, but I've always known this cover of Famous Monsters, and maybe you could stick that up here when we edit.
I'll find it.
Man, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
This is beautiful.
And look, that arm is not floating.
No, I kind of like the way the arm's coming out of the base. That's you've been heard. Yeah, you've been heard.
I've made progress. I've made progress in the world.
And I'm not sure who painted this for them, but
it's a great paint job, great sculpture. A really nice piece. Really nice piece.
So contact Pestilence Labs.
Yep. Links will be down below. And then really quick, from Monstrous Masterpieces, got a new hide piece coming out. So check that out. Looks really nice to go along with his other.
He's got so much stuff.
He's got a ton coming out lately.
It's he's got a Dracula that's really nice.
Yep. So go along with his other Universal monsters. So check this out. Pretty cool piece. And he also has a Joker coming that's out and available now to go along with his Gotham bust that he has.
Oh, and he's got a Jason. I'm sorry. I mean a Two-Face. Yeah.
I'm not Two-Face.
I'll turn around. I'll draw eyes in the back of your head. We'll see.
I'll tell you exactly what I feel.
What a great costume that would be for you.
Draw in the back of my head.
Draw in the back of your head. Yeah.
You know what sucked when we were streaming the other day? I noticed. I think we talked about this.
Oh, your hairline?
Yeah, how far down the back of my hairline actually is. Because I never see it, and it really depressed me.
You can thank Leon for that.
I thought it comes from your mom's side.
Yeah, just blame Leon. Look at him for crying out loud. So
now you're ragging on my dad? What the heck? What's he got to do?
Nothing. He almost walked in on us the other day. Anyway, Pestilence Labs is also shipping the box art kits. So
the customizing
kit, sculpted by Mr. Yeager. And You want to check that out. And our good friend Paul Gill is on the mend.
That's good news.
Should start to mold and cast soon, but have patience with him. Oh, hold on. I got spam. Man, should I answer this on the show? Because this could be fun.
Sure. Dude, I've got.
Hello? Hello,
am I speaking with Joel?
No, you are not. I think you have the wrong number. Damn, that's it?
Dude, you could have gone so much further with that.
No, they're trying to get me to say yes.
I know. Don't do it. For public service announcement, never say yes on a phone call.
Yes, when they ask you if they're speaking to so-and-so, ask them, who is this, please?
Yes.
Okay. And 90% of the time, they'll hang up.
Because they want to record your voice so they could use it as they could just take it off.
Permission for some bullshit.
permissions and stuff. So don't ever say yes. Say, who this? That's what you say every time.
Okay.
All right. So I have some stuff to show. I got some kits in the mail, and I have one thing I want to go right off the front. Right off the bat front. What is this? A book. I have a book, Scott. And I think this is going to lead us into a discussion we've had before. This came in the mail yesterday.
Sorry.
Did you burp on me?
Yes.
Son of a bitch.
Just robbed my ass of a fart. Okay, anyway, go ahead. What?
Did you just make that up, or have you heard that before?
I've heard that. My dad
I've never heard.
Used to say that.
Pretty good. What else did your dad say that was humorous?
Go to school. Yeah. I always found that to be pretty funny.
My dad would always say, and we used to hate it when he would do it, and now I do it every time as an homage to my father. When you sit down in a restaurant and the waitress comes up and goes, "How you doing?" My dad would say every time, "Terrible." No matter what, without fail, would say terrible. Because half the time they don't even listen to what you say, and it's funny. And then once in a while you'll get the waitress go, "Oh no, what's wrong?" And then you're like, "Oh, I'm just kidding."
I'm gonna say, "Look at what I gave birth to," and then that was
that's kind of the way he would go. Anyway, the book I got. So a friend of mine posted this on Facebook over the weekend, who is an avid collector of tiki things and is an artist in his own right. And they have a huge collection. But he posted this. Nobody wants your shit. The art of decluttering before you die. And it's a pretty thin book. But let me read you the back. Inspired by the gentle art of Swedish death cleaning, nobody wants your shit. We'll light a fire under your untidy ass with humor and helpful organizing tips that you'll actually want to use, like a delightfully foul-mouthed best friend. This book dishes out the funny, unpretentious advice you need to hear most. You'll discover how to deal with your shit like there's no tomorrow. Live in the moment without effing around, without the effing mess. I'm not going to say the F word all the way. To make your life and your eventual death a hell of a lot easier. With this witty guide, you'll learn how to ditch the damn indecision, get your S together, and feel fantastic. Give your busy family a effing break, and more. So, just real quick, I want to go through just the names of some of the chapters. Okay. The right headspace changes everything. You'll have more time to reap the benefits. Living in peace is better than resting in peace. It's not going to get any easier while you keep accumulating crap. You're never going to get around to it. You can't die until you clean out your garage. No one has time to deal with your shit. Forget dying. Moving really sucks. Grieving is hard enough. And that's in chapter 1. All right. So it's a funny way of just kind of, and I haven't read it yet. I just got it, but it was one of those things that I think Jamie messaged us that he was going to start like thinning out his herd a little bit. And I think a lot of people are in that headspace. So I'll leave a link down to this book. And it really, the fact that the one thing just said, you're never going to get around to it, is something that I think all of us need to take to heart. And I cleaned out the other day, and this is, I think, something that all of us, I save to go containers, like the plastic ones that Chinese food comes in that I could use to mix paint in. You know, not the cardboard ones, but the plastic ones with the lid that I can use as big, like to put resin pieces in. I cleaned out a drawer that had a stack of them in. Like, I'm like, what am I doing? I need to just throw this away. And it's like,
I used to do that with pudding cups.
Yes, same.
Okay. Because they're good for mixing epoxy in.
So how many do you need to have?
But I've got a stack. How often am I mixing epoxy?
Exactly.
So I stopped.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's the same kind of thing. So I'm excited. I'll give you, when I finish reading this, I will kind of come back and let everybody know. Remember, like right there, memory lane is a dead end street. I save a lot of things for memory. Like, it's just like, oh, I remember when I did this, and I save it, which is, I think, right before a hoarder is where it comes into. And the one thing that really got me was moving. What's that? The ticket? I have a stack of those. What ticket is that?
The Paul McCartney World Tour, Sunday, July 29th, 1990.
Ooh.
First time I saw Paul McCartney.
Ooh. But that's different. You can kind of tuck that in somewhere. Ooh, look at that cutie. But
I don't want to leave it up there too long. I don't want it to be easy to screen grab.
So I want everybody in the comments, what's a drawer full of something that you have that you know you don't need and you know you're never going to use? And let's take this, everybody. Let's all do a small step.
Well, see, I always think I'm going to use it.
But that's what the book's saying. You're never going to use it. You say that, you're never going to use it. I have how many model kits? I'm not going to paint all these. So at some point, you got to kind of narrow it down. So as a challenge, let's all clean out one drawer by next episode of things we know we're not going to use and throw it away. And let's just leave in the comments what you threw out. I kind of have an idea. I have a stack of paint, like old enamel paint cans. I know I'm not going to use. And I'll save like balsa foam or foam pieces. Like, oh, I'll use this to pack a kit. Or I'll use this to put, and I like.
Well, I will say a lot of stuff I save for packing, I do reuse.
Yeah.
Okay, so boxes are my big thing.
Yeah. Yes.
I'll just look at something and go, this is a good box.
Yes.
And I'll throw it downstairs, and next thing I know, I've got like this pile of boxes.
You just hit the magic phrase. This is a good fill in the blank. This is a good container. I could use this. This is a good piece of foam. I could use this. This is a good piece of this. That's what I want. We need to stop.
It's like
doing.
Buying paint. You probably look at stuff and go, this is a good color.
Yes. I mean, look. So everybody, let's try and let's do a little good thing. Let's throw some stuff out because
to start with this microphone and camera.
Because I think the one that hit me the hardest, right, just reading the chapter titles in was the moving is worse than dying.
Oh yeah.
Like you've been through it. I've been through it. I'm going to have to go through it again here shortly. And well, in 6 or so years, I can't even begin to imagine packing all this up and trying to go somewhere. So yeah, let's try. Let's all do one little declutter. Let's pick one drawer, throw some stuff out, and then let us know what you threw out that you know you're not going to ever get to. And then we need to start talking about thinning out herds of collections.
Wires. So. I have a bin full of wires downstairs, RCA and HDMIs. And sometimes I do go down there and find one you need.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. I have like 3 boxes of that kind of stuff, especially when you build computers and even with building printer. Like when you put your printer, you're just like, I now have 2 drawers full of Allen wrenches and wires and things.
I have my original Gateway computer from 1998. Okay. And it still fires up. Okay.
Does that have it has the Moo box, right? The cow box? Which one had the cow box?
Yeah, that was Gateway. That was Gateway.
Okay. Oh man, that's cool. So yeah, let's all try that. Let's try and clean some stuff
I got
out.
Discs of software I'll never use.
Dude, I just went. This came up on the stream. I thought this Ow! I just bumped my head live on TV. I'm on the show. You missed it.
That'd be awesome if you were bleeding out.
Get mine a leak. So they don't make this anymore. They don't make Future Floor Wax anymore, right? And it turned into Pledge. Does Pledge still make this? Is this yellow for everyone, or is this just a me thing?
Ooh, that's probably a you thing.
Do they make this anymore?
I'll tell you in a second.
Because I was gonna attempt for the first time using yarn to make eyeball veins. And that looks a bit yellow for what I want to do. But I have to see. While you're researching.
Well, now they have Pledge Floor Care. It doesn't say Future on it anymore. Huh. Maybe they don't.
All right, Scott, I have some unboxing. Now, I know some other people have done this one, but I wanted to just kind of do it live on the show instead of making a video for it. So we can kind of both walk through it. I picked this up from Mega Hobby, I think is where I ended up getting it from. Mothman.
A Mothman.
Mothman. Let's go into this real quick. Just a quick. I know other people have done it. I just wanted to show. So it's from Pegasus. Mothman. Very inexpensive. So there's the box, which I love the box art. Okay. And let's go. We'll go overhead cam here in a second. You get 1, 2, 3. Ooh. Maybe I will go into a little more detail on this with a better video. There's a lot here. So,
it's a Mothman.
What do you want to see out of this, Scott? Anything in particular?
No, whatever you want.
Yeah, let's look at the face real quick. We'll go to.
You have hairy arms.
I do. There's Mothman's face. The detail is not soft at all for a plastic kit. That's really nice. Well done. So, very cool. So we'll check more into this later as we go, but I got that in the mail. Mothman looks fun. Other people, I think Boggy Creek's done a video on it. I think Scale Model Kit Review did too, Studios. And so, very cool. Mothman. Great box art. Great kit. We'll look at it a little more later. So I got that in the mail. And I also got this. This came from Cult TV, man. Had it on pre-order. Let's see.
You know the bad thing about Cult TV, man?
Paper gut. Yeah.
Those are good boxes.
They are good boxes. No, we can't save it. Well, might be able to. These are really good. These are the best. I gotta say, he does have the best boxes. He really does. So in the box, we get Cult TV Man sticker, invoice, C-Lab postcard.
And you know, something about me wants that C-Lab kit. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I don't know. I remember seeing it when I was just collecting Aurora stuff. And I said to myself, that's a cool kit. I would have loved that as a kid. So, Gamera 96. So the one Advent of Legion is there. Should we open this or should I do a separate video for this? I'd do a separate video.
Okay. So there's the Gamera. We'll walk us through that. So it's going to be the same size as that. Box is about the same size, but there's great boxes. And I'm looking forward to getting the Legion. Because the only other Legion that was available, I think, was that Kyoto one that was huge and super expensive. So a cool little plastic Legion will be fun. So we'll look at that. That's what I got. And that's where we are. Our guest this episode, like we said before, is... You say it.
Daniele Danko Angelozzi.
Daniele Danko Angelozzi is our guest this episode. Sculptor extraordinaire, sculptor for Sideshow, many garage kit companies, other collectible companies. Thank you so much for joining us all the way over from Italy. That is now our record distance of a guest. Although we should measure that Brazil. Maybe that can't be that far.
We didn't do. Oh yeah, we did do Brazil. That's right. We did do Brazil.
We did. So here's the interview. We are back with Daniele Angelozzi. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, and thanks for inviting me, guys. It's really a pleasure and an honor to be here.
Our honor, actually. You are our furthest distance guest we've ever had. We've done Ireland and in England, but we've never done this far.
Italy.
East.
Okay.
Italy. Did I say Italy? What did I say?
Yeah, Italy.
Okay.
Part of Italy, it's the Middle East part.
Okay.
Yeah. Very small town.
So let's start right there. Is there a better place in the world to live to be inspired by sculpture?
Oh, well, art-wise,
yes, like
Italy is a great place, actually, because everywhere you go and every city you travel, even the small one, have a lot of history, a lot of art, paintings, sculptures, everything. So yes, we have some of the most beautiful artworks in the world, because if you go in Rome, you can see Bernini's works. If you go in Florence, there are stuff from Michelangelo, some of Michelangelo's David. So yeah, quite interesting place to live if you are really interested in art. Yeah.
Is that how you got started? Is that what inspired you, or how did you become a sculptor? To the point, we'll start your beginnings and then to our nerd stuff that we all love.
Okay. Yeah, I have quite a strange story, because back in the days, I studied not to become an artist, because my student career was focused on biology. So I am a former biotechnologist, and I have a PhD.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah.
You are now officially our smartest guest we've ever had.
Yeah, I'll say.
But in fact, a lot of people call me Dr. Danko, because I'm really a doctor.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh, cool.
Yeah. So the thing is that while I was having my final year in the PhD, actually, I realized that I really like to make art, because since I was a kid, I really like to create stuff, play with putty or paint. I felt like this sort of creative side. So when I was 30, I realized that basically I was at an age in which it was quite the last chance that I had in order to make a U-turn and try to change and make something else in my life. So it was back in the days. I started more than 20 years ago, and it was the era in which the digital sculpt was raising. So it was just born. So I had the chance kind of like to try to focus and start learning since the very first days of the digital sculpting. So I really started this new path of learning, try to become better and better, and then in the end it paid off, because I had really a strong passion, actually.
So did you ever sculpt in clay, or did you just start digitally and then you went?
Yeah, I had kind of like the inverse path, because in the beginning, when I was a kid, I played with clay, but just very simple stuff. And so I started basically with the digital sculpting. And then after some years, I somewhat realized that I was missing something, because if you start sculpting just in digital, you don't have the real perception of shapes, volumes, etc. And soon I realized that in order to kind of like try to step up, I had also to study the traditional way, play with clay. So in my workshop there, I also have some some bits of clay, and sometimes I really like to play. Never did on a professional level traditional stuff, but I really tried to study and learn also to make traditional sculpture, because it really pays and helps even when you create something in the computer to make it look more having more life. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is a question we usually ask everybody, unless they get super offended. How old are you, sir?
Oh, I'm this year I'm turning 50 on December.
We are the same age, so good.
Yeah,
that's okay. Cool. Scott's the old man here today.
Yes. Kids, you guys are kids, so it's.
I'll be 51 this year, so we probably have a lot of
62. I'll be 62 in 13 days. Jason,
you look young.
Crap! I gotta buy him a present. So yeah, I'll be 51 this year. So we have a lot of probably of the same influences stuff. Growing up, what were you interested in? Like, what was your, besides molecular biology and that sort of thing? Like, what did you like? What inspired you?
the thing is that, as I said, I always was a really strong passion about creativity. So every aspect of the creative things. I had some interest. So there was not a particular subject, for example, superheroes or Japanese character or traditional sculpt. Overall, I really like the idea of creating. And basically, I think that it also translates in my works because I really like to. There is not really a particular thing in which I'm more interested. Overall, I really like the creative thing on a general level. So no matter what the subject is, if it's a superhero or a Japanese character, female, males, muscular character, I really like to challenge myself and try different things. And I think that this also reflects in my works, because if you look at some of my work, you can see that I'm not really specialized in just one particular thing. I really like to try and test myself in different subjects and explore the different parts of creativity. Yeah.
And that's one of the cool things. I noticed a lot of it goes back to when Scott was a kid, kind of stuff, like the Laurel and Hardy's. And we'll get to all that, like some of the older stuff that you were doing. For
hold on. I'm not that old.
You are that old. What are you talking about?
Let's stop right there. Okay.
but specifically you growing up, what were you into? Like, were you a monster kid? Did you watch any sci-fi as a kid? Were you into older movies, Godzilla? What kind of stuff did you like?
Oh yeah, when I was a kid, I really liked first of all cartoons. I am a huge Master of the Universe fan, and in fact, I also have the Sideshow status. I didn't sculpt them, but I purchased them because when I saw them, when they first showed them on a San Diego Comic Con, I said to myself, I need to buy them. But overall, I also like old movies, horror movies. So as I said, I always try to kind of like be curious and interested in a lot of stuff. Nowadays, I somewhat lost a bit of interest towards Japanese stuff. When I was young, I was really into manga, anime. Nowadays, I lost a bit interest because aesthetically, it looks to me kind of like, I really don't want to offend anyone.
No, go ahead, because I think I have the same opinion.
Yeah, I think that they all look quite the same, and also the stories, they tend to kind of repeat themselves, the same plot. So when I was young, I really enjoyed, but nowadays I kind of like get bored by the majority of them. So yeah,
like back, like I would say 90s, before that, like in the 90s, anime was so weird and cool. There was so many different, like each movie was so different, and now everything seems, like you said, very cookie cutter, very the same, where you would get, like, you had your Ninja Scroll, but you had Akira, and you had Wicked City, and you had Ghost in the Shell, like, that were so different and aesthetically just so different. It's like, and now, everything's one piece. Like, it all looks kind of like that.
Basically, there is this sort of, they tend to kind of like become more homogeneous. So but
which kind of happens over time with a lot of things, which kind of
well, I think that the reality is that there is so much stuff that basically, I don't know, probably some of the most interesting stuff, we don't know them. I really don't know. But the thing is that nowadays, also from the point of view of the plots of the anime, for me they looks a bit childish. So I really not cannot somewhat get into and be passionate about them. Yeah.
The very first picture I want to talk about that I have pulled up for everybody to see is your self-portrait that is done in the style of MC Escher. That is a total homage to MC Escher. Like, can you walk us through this for people who don't know? Scott, have you seen this image before?
I've never seen this image. No.
Okay, so there's a very famous image. Talk about it, Angelos.
Yeah, no, basically I had this sculpt of mine that I was doing for fun. So I really decided to, it was really unfinished because it was just a sketch. And I had this fun idea as I can for my daily profession. I'm not used to make renders because I just need to submit to the clients just grayscale image, but I can use some render engines. So I had the capability to create this. I had this idea of making this tribute to Escher. So taking a sphere, a chrome sphere, and putting the 3D model in front of it in order to create the impression that like the famous Escher drawing. I'm drawing a self-portrait by looking at the mirror. Well, yeah.
I had I think I had this and the eyeball Escher picture on my wall growing up. This were like two of those images that just are very iconic. And this for people to understand, this is a 3D sculpture. This is not a flat print or image. Yeah. So he could go in and rotate around it in the camera and everything. It's like, it blew me away when I saw it. I just wanted to make sure everyone got.
No, it was a fun idea. Also, I had this idea because in that period, my wife was making a puzzle of that particular drawing. So I said to myself, oh, yeah, I really want to make something similar. Yeah.
Nice. How did you get involved professionally? Like doing it for, like, what was your first professional job as a sculptor? Do you remember?
Okay, so I started as a 3D generalist. So back in the days, I was not really a sculptor in the strict sense. So I made modeling, animation, rendering, because back in the days, people who made 3D was more involved in advertisement, video games, and whatsoever. My very first job as sculptor, so working in the collectibles, was many years ago. I think like 12 or 13 years. I made a statue of Lupin for an Italian company. So yeah, that was the very first collectible that I did. Yeah.
And how'd that go? Were you like, I can't wait to do more of this? Is it like, oh my God, I've made the worst decision?
Yeah, no. I really, as I said, that was the time in which the 3D sculpt was growing more and more important for productions, because there was the 3D printing that was evolving. So it was translating from the traditional sculptor to the digital sculptor. And there was more and more opportunities. There were more opportunities for digital sculptors. And for me, I always loved sculpting and modeling. So it was in the field of 3D, it was the subject and the thing that really I was passionate about. So when I had the chance to kind of like land more and more jobs sculpting collectibles, I slowly stop doing other things like animation, rendering, or whatsoever, and just focus on creating collectibles. Yeah.
Wow. Just looking at some.
Yeah.
When you get a job, how do you start? Where do you start? When you start sculpting, let's say I'm paying you to sculpt whoever. What's the first part you go to? Like, do you start with a face, an eyeball? Where do you start? Figure?
Okay. Yeah. First of all, I study the character that I have to make. So the very first thing is making a lot of referencing. So I tend to spend a couple of days trying to gather all the references that I need. I make a lot of realistic characters, actors, and characters from movies. So the very first couple of days, I search through the internet and try to find everything related to that particular character, starting from if I have to depict someone from a movie, the age in which the actor played that movie. So I will find on Getty Images and other websites all the images of that particular person in that particular year, and then I start searching for the cloth, the costumes, and the props. So I always try to find the most accurate possible references, and from there, the very first thing when I working on a character is working on the face. I have this sort of workflow. I start with the face and try to block out the face and work on the face just until I can start spotting the likeness, because I really don't want to spend too much time. So let's say 1 or 2 days blocking out, roughing out the face. When I say, okay, starting to look like him, I set it apart and start to work on the body. So proportions, clothes. So first of all, I make a very rough block out in a symmetric pose, but very, very quickly. and then I pause very quickly and then start refining the sculpt, and then I tend to jump here and there working on the face again. But my rule is that I learned by the experience that I really don't want to spend days just looking at the face, because it can really drive me mad. So if you take it in small steps, every time you open up the face after a few days, you spot on the fly what's not working.
Oh yeah.
So do you start with an asset? Like, do you have a head sculpt that you start with and refine, and so that you don't have to go back and proportion, put the ears in the right place and the eyes and the nose,
No, it changes. And I always try also to follow this approach of not focusing always on the same workflow. So it depends on how I start, on how I feel that day. Sometimes I start with a sphere, sometimes with a pre-made asset. Let's say something that has the topology of a face, and sometimes I also like to make this take this as an exercise. I take a previous likeness I did, so on the symmetric stage, and try to transform in the thing that I have to do, because it's a good exercise, because it allows me to force my brain to fight against the boundaries that I see in the sculpt. So,
right.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, this is kind of a more technical question for our viewers, but, I've watched a lot of videos on ZBrush. It's something I want to learn myself.
Yeah.
And one thing I've noticed about some sculptors is, they start out using the symmetry. And for our viewers that aren't watching, that means they start sculpting on one half and the other half matches exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's a great start. But what I've seen is too many people relying on that, because not everyone's face is quite the same on both sides.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or their necklines are not the same on both sides.
Yeah.
So do you start with the symmetry and then adjust, or how does that?
Yeah, no, the thing is that this is very technical, and symmetry helps a lot, because in digital sculpting, we have there is a problem that you don't have in traditional sculpting. I mean, digital sculpting is easier, but when you go traditional and you work on a face, you have the capability. Your brain has the capability to somewhat move the ends somewhat in symmetry. So even if you're not working really in symmetry, my brain can process the information, and I can really move my thumbs making similar gesture. In digital sculpting, you always work one part at a time. So if I have to sculpt one side and then not in symmetry go on the other side, it will be more difficult to perform the same gesture. So I, of course, do use symmetry, but I know by the experience, as you say, that every person, there is no person that is perfectly symmetrical, and it depends on the particular person. Everyone has a certain degree of symmetry. And the thing that I often do, if I find a very nice front picture, I put in Photoshop and try to symmetrize, because it gives me the idea of how much not symmetrical that face is, and so it allows me also to enter in the idea that I made this in some years ago. Now I don't do it anymore, probably because I have more experience and I can spot how much not symmetrical the face is. But it allows me to understand when I have to break the symmetry, because I know that sooner or later I will have to break. And there are certain faces that if you don't break the symmetry, you never hit the likeness.
Right. Well, I had and I don't want to go too far up, but I had a friend of mine sculpt traditionally a King Kong for me years ago.
Wow.
And he sends a picture of it, and it's perfect. And I said, man, you hit it. So about 5 hours later, he sends me another picture. And I write him back. I go, what the hell did you do to this thing? Okay. And he goes, what do you mean? I just cleaned it up. I go, it don't look the same. I don't know what you did, but it doesn't look the same. Well, what had happened is, if you ever look at a picture of the original King Kong, one nostril's a little different than the other, one eyebrow's a little different than the other. So he had to go back and fix that and do the walk of shame and admit that I was right. But so that's why I asked my symmetry question is, as far as digital, like I said, and I won't go into names, but there are some guys that you look at and they do nice work, but you'll see a vein in the neck the same on both sides. And that's just not what happens. So
this is when I say that I try to learn traditional sculpting, this also relates to understanding that in order to make something look like not look lifeless, so look like as life, you have to break the symmetry and work trying to give the idea that the sides are different. So I repeat, it depends on the car. I can make some examples. For example, there is one face, Stan Laurel has a very symmetrical face, because if you take a front picture of Stan Laurel and you symmetrize, it doesn't look weird. So it gives you the idea of how much this person has a symmetrical face. If you symmetrize in Photoshop and it looks weird, it means that you have to put some symmetry on it. A lot of digital sculptors have this sort of problem that they think that when they break the symmetry, they are fucked. So I cannot say they ruin everything. So
all right. So it was a good question. It was a good question.
No, super good question.
What was the hardest job you ever got that you're like, there's no way I can do this, and then you surprise yourself and you're like, man, this turned out awesome?
Oh, tough question.
Or we could also do, what was the easiest job you ever got that you're like, done?
No, the thing is that if we look at the collectible works I did, I always try to approach them with the same level of focus. So no matter how easy is the subject, I try to also I tend to overthink. So it's never so easy. I could say that one of the most difficult, or at least the most recent one, is the first work that I did for Slideshow, that is the Electra. But just because it was a diorama with 6 characters. So when you have six characters interacting one with each other, it can become quite difficult also in terms of handling the file, because the file can become huge, it's difficult to navigate and whatsoever.
You brought that up. I want to bring this up at exactly this point. You have this figure of Van Helsing and Dracula interacting with each other. Talk about that, because I thought it was one of the most dynamic statues I've seen in a long time. It's really cool. I'm not sure if everyone has seen it. So talk to us about this piece a little bit.
This piece, for this piece, this was a collaboration, because I didn't work on the likenesses. I just made the bodies and the diorama, because the company for which I worked had already the heads done for the action figures, and they decided to reuse them. So I was in charge to kind of like invent the scene and start the scene. So I imagine this sort of dynamic scene that is not really in the movie, in which Dracula jumps and towards Van Helsing that is trying to defend himself. And I'm really a fan of statues that kind of fight against gravity. So I think that the cool fact about digital sculpting is that it allows you to make more easily things that in traditional would be difficult. Because if I had to sculpt something in traditional that fights against gravity, I would have a lot of problem in avoiding the model to bend or to fall while it's not dry and whatsoever. So I always tend when I'm doing something when I'm doing my works to take advantage of the medium that I'm using. So when it comes to digital sculpting, I really like to try to create stuff that somewhat can defy the laws of gravity, or give the impression that defy the laws of gravity, because I can sculpt something that is floating in there and then put the peg on something and make it stand.
Now, I'm thinking when this goes into production, they must have a big steel rod through that thing to keep it from snagging because it's.
It could be a problem. As far as I know, there are a lot of companies that, in order to avoid leaning and bending and whatsoever, put some sort of steel
support in there.
Yeah, steel rod, but running along the entire statue. So
when you started working on this, did you have the heads already from the other person, or was it just a blank head that you had to work around?
Yeah. No, they gave me the heads.
Okay,
yeah.
they gave them to you as you were going.
Yeah.
Cool.
Also, in this particular production, as they wanted to save money, they used on the statues the same pegs that are in the action figure. So I had the heads with the pegs, and they had also to work. Probably the biggest challenge of this statue was managing to make the poses look natural, because I had this problem of the necks. In an action figure, the neck is straight, so I really couldn't bend the neck, and I had to fight against this and try to find a workaround. So I tried to cover with the clothes the fact that the neck was very stiff.
Very cool.
So I'm looking over this slideshow, which I'm seeing for the first time, but I've seen a lot of your work over the years. Okay. And so I just have to comment on one piece. And Jason, unfortunately, didn't grab the companion piece, but he probably can for editing. The two pieces from Casablanca, the Humphrey Bogart.
Oh, yeah.
And the Ingrid Bergman, Ilsa. Yeah. Okay. I am so mad at myself that I didn't buy these. I am
because they are sold out.
Fan of that movie. And the Bogart is great, but the Ingrid Bergman as Ilsa was just off the charts to me. It was like, wow, this is this is beautiful. So at some point I'll probably have to get one on the secondary market somewhere for $1 zillion. But you know, it's I just want to comment and say those were fantastic. And going through the slideshow too, Jason, so many of these things I've seen, and I want to say a lot of them are whatchamacallit? Is it Bradford Exchange, or some of them are? Is it Bradford Exchange? Some of them.
The Bogart, they are the Italian company. It's called Infinite Statue.
That's it. Infinity.
I worked for them for 12 years, so I made something like 60 or 70 different works. In total. Also with smaller things. So this was made for them.
Oh man.
That is beautiful. And then the Dracula. I saw the Dracula holding the girl, and it was like, wow, that's nice too. But you know, and the problem I have is we usually do model kits, so we want to build and paint our own.
Yeah.
And trust me, him and I both, we have so much that it's you have to get picky basically to decide what you want. And you know, I look at your stuff and go, I want most of it. Okay. If it's related, especially to a classic movie. I'm looking at the John Wayne pieces. The Charlie Chaplin, the Paul Newman, the Fonzie, the Peter Sellers. I mean,
that
all
Peter
of these
Sellers
things.
is so good.
I'm just looking at him, and I'm not an Army of Darkness fan, but that
Ash,
that Ash is fantastic. And now I know you've sculpted a little for the Garage Kid community.
Let's go there. Let's start with
let's talk about those guys at Sweet Life, those knuckleheads. No, we love those guys. We had John on a couple episodes, right? A couple episodes ago we had John.
Oh, okay. He's an amazing painter. I always see.
Isn't he though? Yes, he is. And so is Jeff Camp. All those guys are really good painters. But I think you guys started out with the Doc Holliday, and I was like, this is awesome. And then what was his next one? Was it was Johnny Ringo, right?
Yep.
Yes, we made Doc Holliday, then Johnny Ringo, then Wyatt Earp, and then Carly Bill.
Yeah, right. And I have Wyatt Earp pulled up right now, and it's just like when you do something like this, there's a lot. The cool thing about these figures is there's a lot of little details and different textures, especially like in that Doc Holliday's vest, if I remember.
Yeah.
That has like some stuff that you couldn't even. How would you even try to do that traditionally? If you're trying to do that in clay, those different textures would be near impossible. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. But to
Yeah.
see this, like even
No,
the inside
you
of
could
his
do that.
jacket and his tie,
Yeah.
and like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, the thing is that in order to make them in traditional, you have to spend an amazing,
Yes.
a huge amount of time. Yeah, in 3D, this is a huge advantage of 3D when it comes to textures, especially fabrics and repeated texture. You can create something that is stylable and make it flow around the surface. You have to know how to control, but it's easier. I mean,
and then going on to Gary Oldman's gun. That's what,
yeah.
So I have a feeling this is one of the reasons why this kit was never made up until now.
Yeah.
Is because that gun is so complicated and crazy that to try and do that traditionally would have been a man. Walk us through how did you research the gun, first of all?
No, for the gun it was easy because basically for the gun they found an asset of a guy that made an STL in order to 3D print it for cosplayers. So
nice.
to people, and they purchased it and sent it to me and say, because when they asked me for a quote, I said, if you want me to make the gun, it will cost too much, three times more.
Yeah.
So they managed to find. The thing is that the good thing about 3D is that if you are trying to create something that has a prop that is very popular, eventually you can find somewhere someone that has made it and is very accurate. So for me, it was a pain because the file was not really printer friendly and production friendly. So I had to spend a lot of time in technical stuff in order to close the gaps. To make it castable, but this is the thing that if I had to model, I would say no way.
That'll lead me to a question. Do you print yourself? Do you have your own 3D printer?
Yeah.
And so you know,
and he paints.
Huh?
And he paints too.
And he paints.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, you know about resin traps, and you know about how to break it up so you can print it. Okay, and so many of these guys with these files, they just put them out there, and it's like you can't. They've got resin traps in them, and they've got
the thing is
geometry problems. And...
No, the thing is that people that make files to be 3D printed know that they are supposed just to be 3D printed, so they really don't care about resin traps. For example, now. In my plans as a personal work, I want to make a David Bowie figure from the movie Labyrinth. You know, the Goblin King that is sitting on the throne. And you know that he had this sort of very, very messier style, very intricate. If I had to make this for a resin cast, I should make something solid without holes in order to avoid resin traps. As this is a personal project and I really want just to 3D print, I will play with just strands, not minding about this type of stuff. Because the thing is that when you work in production, a huge part of the time is spent in closing the things and avoiding those traps, making the cuts in order to be sure that it kind of like it's castable and the part can fit one onto the other and stuff like that. Yeah.
I'm going to come back to this Gary Oldman for a second. Have you ever got to go to like a factory to see how it works? Have you been able to go to Sideshow and see like one of your statues being made, or have you always just been on the other end of that? Have you ever had that dream come true where you actually get to walk through the whole process from beginning to end?
Not yet. I sincerely hope.
Anthony, get this guy out there. What the heck? Fly him out.
And Anthony is amazing.
Yes.
He's amazing. He has a huge passion because I always write him mails asking for things. So
he's another excellent painter too. Anthony.
Yeah.
Excellent painter.
I want to go back. The likeness on Gary Oldman is just, for this movie specifically, you nailed the look of that character, of that smirk and that smug, just jerky kind of guy. This part of the movie. And this piece
No,
is so well done.
it came out quite well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to recognize to myself, I don't feel like I'm so good at doing likenesses. I'm not bad, but there are way better people. A thing that I'm really capable to catch well is the expression. So the thing is that when a character has a very extreme expression, there are a lot of likeness artists that maybe they are used to work on very neutral expression that they cannot hit them. Instead, I am more capable of hitting a very extreme expression. So when there is a smirk or some anger and the face is distorted, I can really catch them by keeping the likeness.
Yeah, and it brings us right to Curly Bill, because the expression on Curly Bill's face, once again, and it's like, if you go, and everybody go and look at Angelozzi's work, or Daniele, and I keep saying it, go and look at Daniele's work on his page, and you could look at each face and see the expression, because a lot of times sculptors just leave it blank, or they go for that.
Yeah.
There is something and you're right, you capture an expression and a feeling that a lot of people don't get, like just either joy or sadness or excitement that comes through in that piece. And this part, this Curly Bill, he's like, come on.
In fact, there are the guys at Sweet Life, sometimes when there's some they give me a very, very detailed breakdown, and they make an image in Photoshop, like a photo edit, in which I have the model as it has to come. So it's very probably they are the best in giving information and the overall artwork and art direction. But every time they send me the mock-up and the expression is extreme, I say, "Oh no, please no." So for Carly Bill and Gary Oldman, it was, oh my god, okay, I will have to do it.
Well, even going back to and I'm probably going to be wrong. Is it Lone Wolf and Cub? Who's the samurai guy?
The samurai, Toshiro Mifune.
Yes.
Yeah.
What movie is that from?
This is from it's not really from a particular movie, because for the Italian company, sometimes we made somewhat of a medley in which we tended to create a character, an image of an actor depicting what is in the for Toshiro Mifune, probably the movie was Ronin. For that one,
Ronin, that's what I was thinking of.
Ronin,
yes. Ronin. Yeah. So, and then next to him, in the slide that I have, and you'll see this.
Yeah.
You have a character, and what movie is this from? Where he's carrying the child and he's got the bananas on his back.
Oh yeah. It's Bud Spencer from a movie called Banana Joe.
Okay.
It's an Italian actor. Yeah.
So I want people to just look at both of these faces. You have one face that's just super serious, downturned smile, angry, and it just gives you this super, like, I'm scared of that dude emotion. Like, that guy's gonna mess me up. Where you go to the opposite side, where this guy's got his eyes squinting, he's smiling, he's carrying a kid, he's having a good time, whatever's like, you can capture both of those perfectly, and it's just.
I want to know how they made that cage.
Oh yeah. How did you do the cage?
The cage for me was easy. For the production, I don't know. I have the piece there. I think that it's casted in metal into pieces.
Okay.
I don't know how they made it. Yeah. But for me, it's easy. I take tubes and deform them, and the cage is done.
Wow.
And then you did some work for Filmies Girls, which people are very familiar with around here.
Yeah.
I think I got what's her name?
We've had him on too.
Yeah, we've had Mark on. So Daphne, you did a new Daphne bust for him.
For them I made basically almost all the line of the comic busts. Apart from the one that is the wife of Frankenstein, basically. I did not make it, but the other one I all made them.
Gotcha. Yeah. And then you've been doing some work for X Plus.
Yeah, I was just going to ask about.
Yes,
Go ahead,
I made the mummy's tomb, and I collaborated in their upcoming Frankenstein kit. They have a Frankenstein that is coming up, and at some point, because X Plus is this thing that they give the work here and there to different sculptors during the work in progress. They make a lot of changes. So at a certain point, I found myself working on the Frankenstein. I also gave an hand for the Vampirella's base, and I made the creature from the Black Lagoon. But I don't know if some other people then took it back and made modification. And I
made the Metalutin Mutant too as well.
What?
The
The Metalutin Mutant or whatever.
I made the first pass, and then it was sent to another guy in order to finish it off. Yeah.
Right.
So that's the second time we've heard lots of changes. About X Plus.
They are very nitpicky, and
I'll talk about it. I'll talk about it with you when we're done. But, but anyway, I'm glad to know this because people have asked me, and because we have this podcast, who sculpted this? Who sculpted this? I know who sculpted the Dracula. I know who sculpted the Wolfman. Okay, I know Tony pretty well. Okay, so I know he sculpted those two. But what was a little aggravating is they don't credit the sculptor, and that kind of pisses me off. You know, and it's like, come on.
And that could be because there's
credit.
15 guys working on one piece.
Well, but I guess, if they're changing it, but
the thing is that sometimes they usually have many retakes, so eventually they prefer not to credit the sculptor in order to not offend anyone or hurt anyone's feelings. Yeah.
So let me ask you this. When you send them something like this, and then they let someone else change what is essentially your work, does that bother you, or do you just look at it and say, it's a job, it's gone, and
we're not talking X Plus specifically. In general.
Yes, I'm not talking X Plus specifically.
That's a very, very nice question and opens up a lot of stuff. No, okay. The thing is that it's work and it depends on the deal. Okay. I know that the X Plus, for example, how can I say? Sorry, because I cannot say in English. X Plus usually has this workflow in which eventually they start working with someone. Then the thing is that as they have very long reviews, sometimes it happens that the job goes past the delivery date. But just because they have different reviews, for example, for the Metaluna Mutant, it was me that said, okay, guys, send to another guy because it was supposed to be done in 2 months. We have done way past 2 months. So with no harshness, I think that I really cannot keep working on this because I have other stuff to start. So it depends on the deal. If it's stated by the beginning that it's a cooperative work, and the company really wants to be sure that having different sculptors work and retouching is totally fine. It's not fine when a company out of the blue takes the freedom to take your sculpt and change and especially reuse it. So this is very, very pissing me off.
Yeah. Does that happen a lot?
Not a lot, but it happened. It happened not a lot of time ago. With a company for which I don't work anymore, and that was one of the reasons for which I.
Have you seen? And I don't know. Maybe this doesn't happen a lot, or maybe it will happen more in the future. Because this happened, I think, with Disney and Tony. Like he sculpted one asset, and I think it drives. I don't know if we should even talk about. But he sculpted one thing and it shows up in other people's work. So they take that asset. Does that bother you too? Like, let's say you sculpt something and then they use it a year down the road.
This is one of the situations that I said that could bother me. I'm usually in the ideal world, the thing is that this is also for the copyright laws. When an artist makes a piece, it's supposed to be just that piece. We all know that nowadays, as we work in 3D and assets are reusable, it would be stupid for companies not to reuse them because they can save money. Okay. The thing is that it should be always be an act of kindness from the company at least to make you aware of the fact that they want to
Yeah.
reuse this.
Right.
It happened to me in the past that I gave some of my likenesses as base for other works for the same company. For example, I made Stadius. There was this company that also made action figures, so they thought that the likeness was good and they wanted to use as a base for the action figure. And I always say that as soon as you let me know and you make me you let me know and you credit me as part of the creative team. For me, it's totally fine. I really don't want extra money. If you want to reserve me maybe a free copy of the work, but the thing is that it's really bothering when the company doesn't inform you and out of the blue reuse your work. I repeat, I think that also from the point of view of law, this is the thing that is not allowed.
Right. Well, and you talked about corporations and corporate law and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think it really comes down to, and the unfortunate thing is, a lot of artists, I'm not saying you, but a lot of artists work by, I'm just going to say, by the seat of your pants. So someone calls up and says, I'm going to pay you this much to do this. And you say, okay, send me half and then I'll do it, and send me the other half. There's never a contract. There's never a written contract or a legal contract. So once they have it, they feel like it's theirs and they own it. And I can understand that point of view.
Yeah.
So my advice to artists would be, you need to, and it's so hard now with digital, is you have to really lay this all out and say, look, you can use this for this statue.
Yeah.
But if you use it for more than this statue, then I need to be compensated. Okay.
But the problem is that even the presence of a contract really doesn't guarantee you that you are kind of
right. Because they can change it so much and say, well, we changed it enough. It's not. Yeah, it's a nightmare for you guys.
But there is a thing to consider. The problem is that as soon as the artist is a person that has a work ethics, it's okay, and this can work. I'm referring to a talk that I had with some of these guys of this company for which I don't work anymore, and I say to them, "Okay, you're lucky because I can have some work ethics, so I will never think about reusing the stuff that I did for you. But imagine that you are an artist and the company reuses without consent your assets. So I could feel free also to resell the asset to someone else or sell as else. So it's a double-edged sword, because if you act like sorry for the bad word, like an asshole, there are some people that could pay you off with the same.
I love the Italian twist on that. Asshola. Okay. Yeah. I love it.
Great.
I love it.
That's what I'll be called for the next 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
No, I know.
So if I was to say, okay, I want to hire you to do a Humphrey Bogart from Casablanca, but I want the scene where he's in the white tuxedo standing in front of the door. Okay. You would sculpt a whole new head. You wouldn't go back and pull that old head and add hair and put it on a body. Okay. Or would you? I mean, I don't see why you couldn't, but because you're changing it enough. But so they should, if they're going to use your assets for other things, to me, then you should be allowed to use your assets for other things too. Now, if you're copying the exact same pose or the exact same thing, yes, certainly that would be the wrong thing to do, obviously.
We are in a somewhat of a shadowy area. So
it's tough.
But from my point of view, there was never a problem in having people take my work, modify my work. All the things that they ask, I made it. So and it's yours. But I would always like the kindness to be make aware of this and be credited. So as soon as I have this, for me it's okay. When this ceases to happen, so it's really, really bothering.
I want to talk about.
I'm going to ask another tricky question.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure I'm going to know your answer, and I'm going to understand why. You see a lot of guys out there selling STLs, of their work. Have you ever thought of doing that, or do you just look at it and say, it's too, because of the way the STLs get passed around.
Yeah.
It's there's too much basically stealing. Okay,
Never considered, because for two reasons. The first of all is from an work ethic point of view, I try not to sell stuff that I'm not legally allowed to. And it's not like making a custom sculpt, because if I make a custom sculpt for someone, the responsibility of selling something without license is of my client. Because as a sculptor, I really don't need the license.
Right.
If I work for Sideshow and I make an Electra, I don't have the license to make the Electra.
Okay.
It's the company that sells the product that is responsible for that.
Well,
so I really don't want to directly sell something that goes under the laws, but more than that, it's also to avoid problems, because nowadays there are companies that really chase you if you make especially if you make something quite good, they can really send you a cease or desist, or how it's
cease and
called.
desist. Yes.
Yeah. The second reason is the fact that STLs are passed by the people. So the thing is that I know for sure that if you work on something and you get 20, you get one. You get paid for one, at least 100 people will have it for free.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's not worth it. I mean, if I have to spend 1 month creating a character in order to gain $100 because 2 or 3 people buy it and then 40 people 3D print it, for me, it's not worth it.
Yeah. No, and I understand, because it's I'm one of these. A person, there's a gentleman that does a lot of cartoon characters, and I befriended him. He lives in Brazil.
That poor guy.
Okay.
And when someone wants one of his pieces printed, okay, and he just sells the files, okay. When someone wants one of his pieces printed, I include the cost of that file, okay, when I print it for them.
Yep.
And I send him the cost of the file.
Oh.
Okay.
Wow.
Because to me, that's the ethical thing to do. Okay. And this guy loves me because of it. Okay. I'll send him some money and say, hey, I just printed a blah, blah, blah for somebody.
Yeah.
And, or they have to buy the STL for me to print it. Okay. Or prove to me they bought the STL to print it. I won't just print something, and I don't care if someone sells it. I won't just print it now. Certain Patreons say if you buy a seller's level, like Jason has done, they don't care if you sell prints, okay? Because you've paid the extra to do so, okay? But, for the most part, I think, and a lot of people don't understand that if you don't support the artists, when I go on like Etsy, they have Etsy here. I don't know if you're familiar with Etsy. And you see files that, let's say, a company like Wicked sells for $20. Yeah. And you see the same file for $3. Okay. And it's like, if you can't afford the $20, get another hobby. Okay. Yeah. Support the artist, because when you do that, you're going to get more. Okay. Yeah. So what it's led to is, like yourself. Again, I'm friends with Tony Cipriano. He's the same way. He will not let those STLs out of his little hands. Okay. And, I don't blame him. It sucks as a fan to not be able to go in and just print my own, especially knowing that I can print. Yeah. But it's just, but I understand why. So that's, I was just curious if you'd ever.
Yeah, no. The thing is that there is some math also behind it. It's not really worth it. If I also start to make some math and say, okay, I'm spending this amount of time in order to create this file, and they have the probability to get this, it's not worth it. Selling STLs works if, like you said, you make a Patreon and you work regularly on creating new assets.
Right.
But this is the thing that at the moment I really can do, because I work for companies, for people. So my working schedule is somewhat busy and I don't have the time.
Yeah. Right. Well, and the other thing I've suggested to Tony is, if you want to sell a sculptor, do a Kickstarter and say, okay, I'm going to release this file, but you're all going to pay this much first.
Yeah.
And that way you're basically paid for the sculpt. So if the file gets out there basically I want to say, so what? Okay.
Yeah.
But yes, but it just bugs him that he knows it'll still get stolen and stuff. And it's like, so if it's going to bother you, then you shouldn't do that, because
Yeah,
it
but
is going to happen.
this is the same strategy that was adopted by a lot of companies making miniatures, especially here in Europe, because they had the problem of recasts. Because everyone has the problem of someone copying other works. So they're starting to make Kickstarter that basically are pre-sales, because their strategy is that no matter if then if later they will recast the works, if I set a Kickstarter in which I set how much I want to earn from this particular miniature, if I hit the goal, then who cares? So yeah, the other strategy could be creating a Kickstarter and selling the STL. Yeah. That was one of the plans that I have for the future, because I have some characters I would like to develop in my free time, and so making a Kickstarter could be also.
Cool. Oh, I'd love to see that.
Strategy.
If you do that,
you talked
let
about
us know.
time.
Let us know.
Let me ask you this: you talked about time.
Yeah.
And I'm just asking for a ballpark, because I know every piece is different.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this Benny Hill piece, start to finish. How many hours do you think you have into that?
Okay, I really cannot give an exact quantity of the hours, because usually I try also to jump from one project to the other. It really depends on the particular piece. On an overall base for a statue, usually the time that it takes ranges from on an average 1 month to 3 or 4. Not working continuously. I once made a statue in 2 weeks because there was a kind of like a tight deadline. But usually I tend to take my time and not rush, because if you rush things don't come out good. But overall, usually 1 month.
So I'm gonna ask another tough question here.
Yeah.
How many hours a day are you in front of that computer sculpting?
Nowadays, not that many. I mean, it depends. It depends on the project I'm working on. Usually, I will say six of work. It can vary, but on an average, 6. I try to take it easy, not to overload with work. I really love to paint. It's an hobby.
Right.
It's my hobby. So yeah, of course, there are periods in which I have very tight schedules, so I can really compensate and I can not working 10, 12 hours.
Well, and but it's nice. I mean, you can work from home. If there's a day that you have something to do, maybe there's a day you don't do anything on the computer, and I always give Tony a hard time, because Tony says I should have been a plumber. And I said, dude, you get to work from home. You're not putting in a whole 8-hour day. Okay. If you get distracted by your own projects, so what? Okay. And, so him and I go back and forth. I give Tony a hard time a lot. But, I think it's great you guys can do this and work from home. And
it's good, but
it's hard to stay focused.
I hate working from home.
Yeah, it's hard to stay focused, and you always stay low,
and
you always stay in the same environment.
Yes, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I like
the
going
structure,
to a job.
the structure of the work environment. But
I want to talk about this Peacemaker real quick. It's been on the tip of my tongue for the last 15 minutes for a sideshow. There are so many different elements in this. Can you just walk us through? Like, did they give you a sketch? Or did they say, hey, we want you to make a Peacemaker for us? Like, what was the initial pitch that you got from them?
Usually, sideshow are very precise. So when they give you the pitch and ask for the quote, they send the concept art. So the sketch that is also very well drawn by their artist.
Yeah.
And this one was made by Ian McDonald. Yes. And so all the elements were there. All the elements that you see are there. And there is a funny story, because when Ricky sent me the pitch, in the email said, we thought about having you sculpt this Peacemaker. It's a very different subject for our subject, because they don't make a lot of ironic stuff. So it's very cartoonish, it's a bit over the top. And he asked me, do you like it? And in my reply, I said, "Hey Ricky, I don't like it." Then many dots on the other line. I love it. The problem is that from the cell phone, he just saw the preview of the mail and said, "Oh my God, he doesn't like the project." I learned that when I reply to work mails, I never have to make jokes. No, the thing is that it was pretty clear from the sketch, and from the sketch, I really love the sketch because I really like to make ironic characters, playing with irony, making something over the top. And for me, the thing that sells the Peacemaker piece is the gun that shoots the peace dogs.
That's the best.
I mean, I really, I'm also a huge fan of John Cena. I really like the character he plays in wrestling, and also as an actor, I really like as an actor, and I really love the TV show of Peacemaker. So when I saw it, I said, I really have to make it. Yeah.
And then the last thing I want to talk to you about, and I think, it's a Paul Bonner piece, and are you teaching a class? Let me go. I'm showing a couple of things here. Are you teaching classes? How do people sign up? Because we want to get all your plugs in.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No.
This Paul Bonner piece is right up my alley. Like the fantasy stuff here is so cool. So walk us through.
You mean the one riding the pig?
Yes.
Yeah. I started reworking on it during these days because I really have to finalize it and want to print it. Yeah, the thing is that, first of all, my classes are in Italian because I, at the moment, feel a bit shy making English classes. Usually I have my Discord channels, which I have a lot of users, and I launch my classes and I organize the classes from there. Usually I make some posts on Facebook and Instagram, make some promoted posts in order to find people interested. And usually I try to not to advertise them because I want to keep the number low. So in order to be able to follow all the students, because they are live classes. So basically there are live lessons in which basically I approach the sculpt as it, imagining that is a real work. So there are no recorded things, all is made live, and I can also make mistake, go back and forth and whatsoever. And during the class, all the students are asked to create a work from a concept they like. And in the Discord channel, I follow them, I give reviews and feedback. So the class is composed of live lessons in which I sculpt, and also review sessions and feedback sessions.
Okay, so I got to go learn Italian. Work on ZBrush.
There is. I am in program sooner or later to try to make something in English. The thing is that I feel like
I don't want to cut you off. I want you to know your English is amazing, and do not be shy about it. Like, you sound awesome.
Thanks.
And,
thanks a lot.
We sound like idiots more than
we've had people on that live here and can't make a coherent sentence, so it's okay.
Yeah, but you know, in the international field there are a lot of amazing people, so I feel a bit shy of making a class. I fear that people will not find this important.
Plus the Italian, if you do it in Italian, it keeps us American riffraff out of there. So you can just keep it with
keeps us riffraff out of there. It sure does.
Give us, if someone wants to hire you for a job, for a sculpture job, give us your Instagram, anything you want to like people to find. How do we find you?
Okay, yeah. In Instagram, my name is Dear Danko, Dr. Danko, Dear Danko, and on Facebook, Daniele Danko Angelozzi. And I am also on ArtStation, so you can also contact me there. And basically, those are my social channels. Yeah.
Links for all of that will be down below.
It wasn't too long ago you made a post, and I got scared because it was kind of like you weren't going to sculpt anymore. And I was like, oh, no, don't stop sculpting.
No. The thing is that I'm doing a lot of works. There is some stuff that is under NDA that is yet to come. But in the last times I started to make fewer posts just because I don't know, I'm focused more on work and real life.
Sure.
So I make a lot of sketches, but also eventually this period I'm in the mental mood when I make a sketch, I say, no, it's not good enough, so I will not post it because it's not that what I consider a good level. So yeah, the thing is that it's a mix of stuff. But no.
The artist, the artist is his own worst critic, right? I mean,
yeah. Actually, yes. Yeah, but the thing is that I repeat, eventually, as I'm working more for Sideshow, all the projects are under NDA, and when you finish a project, it can also pass more than 1 year before it comes out.
Yeah.
There are 3 pieces that have to come out that are sculpted for Sideshow, and many works that I'm doing this period, I consider them not so good in terms of level of finishing in order to post them. Yeah.
Well,
I'm looking at those Draculas over your shoulder. There's 3 of them.
Oh yeah, there.
Did you sculpt that?
Yeah.
Because I got one sitting on my shelf up here. I got the black and white one sitting up.
Yeah, the one from Retro Go. Yeah.
I
made
looking
all
up
the,
at
all
it. I saw those.
the majority of the small pieces. Yeah.
I was looking at those and I was like, those look familiar. And then I look up, I go, oh yeah, I got that Dracula sitting up. So that's all. I think it's cool. In the garage kit hobby, it's easy because we know a lot of these guys. But like I have some ornaments that Tony sculpted.
Yeah.
Okay. And now I can look at it and go, oh, I have that you sculpted. I have action figures that sculptors have sculpted in the past, and so it's kind of cool that or you've met the sculptor, and so that's cool. So now I have something. There you go. I'm thrilled.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank
you for
guys.
taking your time out. Again, links for all of Daniele's stuff will be down below. Support him, follow him on everything, and we greatly appreciate you being here.
And he's not a medical doctor, so don't contact him about that.
No.
Want to look at my toe real quick?
But my wife is a doctor, so.
Oh hey.
She's a psychiatrist, so he's the kind of doctor that we really know.
For me, that's the kind I need. All right. Thank you, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
What'd you think, man?
Great. He did great.
And thank you for asking questions. I appreciate it.
No problem.
And thank you, Daniele, for coming on. That was fantastic. It was great seeing your work and hearing us walking through it. It was really good. Cool. All his links are down below. Check them out. If you need a sculpture, hit up him.
I wish he did more garage kits, but he is
that guy's busy.
All the Sweet Life tombstone kits.
Yeah.
And the Gary Oldman.
Yeah, I think he's done all their stuff. Actually.
He's done some stuff for Saul too, I believe.
Yeah.
So
man. Great
beautiful
stuff.
Work.
Beautiful. Yes. Simple way to say it. Beautiful work.
And a really nice guy.
Super nice.
I'm not going to say the nicest guy in the hobby because Paul's going to get upset.
Yeah.
But super nice guy.
Yeah. Super nice. Emails, voicemails, and corrections. From James Downing. Hey guys, was wondering if you might touch on this on the next show. I have watched some videos about speed paints or contrast paints on miniatures. Have you had any experience using them on larger scale models? I enjoy each show. Keep up the great work. Thanks, James. Yes, I use them all the time. All the time on bigger scale stuff. The cool thing about them is they airbrush amazingly. But contrast and speed paints are meant to work as a quick way to get your army painted if you're painting a bunch of miniatures. But it gives you your shades, your shadows, your midtones, and your highlights with one coat of paint. Does it do that perfectly every time? No. And you'll have to go back and clean some things up. But the way it dries, it lets and you want to make sure you undercoat with like a white or a lighter color. And then it will give you your highlight when it dries, your midtone, and your shadow. And then you can go in and figure out where your highlights and things are. I did on this bust that I'm doing on the stream, I did a lot of the base, the fur part with contrast paints. And it just quickly gives you an idea of where your shadows are. And if you go back, one of my last AFM articles where I did the Lovecraft figure, I airbrushed contrast paints through that. They blend amazing. So if you get a chance, check them out. They're not a cheating thing in a bottle. It's not going to paint your kit for you. It will give you a great first step as we go. Getting stormed out, huh, Scott?
Holy cow. Let me see if I can do this. I don't know if I can get away with this or not.
Yeah.
Jeez, it's pouring, man.
Look at that. All right. So check it out. I think they're great. And each brand kind of works a little differently. There are some really good videos on YouTube that show the difference between the brands. Vallejo is called something else. Speed Paint is Army Painter. Contrast Paint is Games Workshop Citadel. And they're
so it's the same stuff. Contrast and Speed Paint is the same stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same general purpose idea. So check them out. I think they work great for a lot of things. So, all right. Next up,
I'm listening.
From Michael Marenthal. Hello, Jason. I'm trying to find the Son of Frankenstein kit you bought at Wonderfest last year or the year before. I tried contacting Alternative Images, but no luck. Can you help me find one? Thanks. I can't find a kit for you, but if anyone has one of those they want to sell, get a hold of me. I could put you in touch of Michael. But I just we do not have an update on Alternative Images and Scott Kelly. Last we heard, he was still going through some health issues. We have no update since then. Correct, Scott? Is that where we're at?
Correct.
So wish everyone say that again. Wishing Scott Kelly all the health wishes in the world. Everyone send your good thoughts over there. We're not sure where things are right now, and we'll try and figure something out, but we haven't heard anything. So if anyone knows, let us know in the comments or send us an email. We'd love to know it, get an update and share that with everybody. But if you have one of those Son of Frankenstein kits, get a hold of Michael or me. All right. Last email. And this is like the 5th time. You ever see those memes where it's like, please stop sending me this? And it's like making fun of somebody because they've got it a whole bunch of times because you look like somebody. So I've been in places where people go, hey, it's Rob Halford, right at me. Please stop sending me this. It's like the 5th time. I'm just kidding. It's funny. It cracks me up. But I got this in the mail from Larry Bailey. And it's the Rob Halford of Judas Priest action figure.
I don't know why you don't own that.
I know I should. The thing that really bugs me is he has a really pointy head. And I hope my head's not that pointy. It's kind of flat in back, but he has a really pointy head. But yeah, the Rob Halford action figure does look a lot like him. So, all right, we got it out. Everyone can stop sending that.
Okay. Real quick, you talked about the picnic.
Yes.
And I'm going to give a quick people that do not have to RSVP because I know they already have. Okay. So I have Chris Gerke and his wife Rachel, Mark and Shanna Worthling, Vince Simonelli, Greg Damian, Roy Kershoff, Dan Cherney, and Dave and Lois Horvath. Okay. So I have those for sure. Was there anybody else I'm missing?
No.
We had a couple maybes, but I'm not going to put them down until I know for sure. And if you decide last minute, you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
We're going to have extra
absolutely.
food. I just don't want 15 people to come that never told us.
Yeah.
And Jason have to go to the store because.
So please let one of us know. We'd like to know.
All right. So anyway.
All right. We have 2 voicemails from the same person. We haven't done voicemails in a while. The first one is from Kermit. I will say this is probably the worst Kermit I've ever heard, especially after that Omegle Kermit. But here we go.
Kermit the Frog here. I'm going to bring lots of pork to your barbecue. Pork rib, pork ham, pork roast, pork chop. But, Miss Piggy won't be there. She'll be in spirit. Ha ha!
So you should probably write down your list of things before you start trying to think of them as you're Kermiting.
You didn't mention pig's feet or pig ears.
Yeah, come on.
What the hell?
Should have been. And this one we'll probably get in trouble for. But I send all hate mail to whoever sends these voicemails. I left all the Allison AI videos out or voicemails out. Here we go.
Yeah, this is Chul.
Dear God. Okay.
What?
So everyone knows that was Jason's idea to air that. No.
Should I take it out? I probably should take that out. That's the episode, everyone. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. We'll see you at the barbecue. There'll be an episode before that one. But please, again, let us know if you're coming. Thank you to Daniele for joining us. It was amazing. And we'll see everybody next time on episode 121. Say goodbye, Scott.
Goodbye.